Hello and welcome back to another exciting edition of Recreated. This is Wrestlemania 27 here at FREC, which you're probably wondering, well, wait a minute, it was FRW earlier. I did change the name to stand for Figure Recreation, FREC for short, and because I'm going to be diving into recreating movies in the very near future as well. But right now we're just going to finish up the WrestleMania series, start on the SummerSlam, as well as work on recreating movies with action figures. Now, it won't be me recreating scenes with figures. It'll be basically a stat video to decide on, can you recreate the movie? And if you can, how accurate will it be? Who are we missing? How weird would it be? Because obviously, if I'm recreating Jurassic Park 1, which could be a possibility in the future, do they have all the people made? I know the Amber Collection came out with a whole bunch of brand new, realistic-looking Jurassic Park characters, but there's probably some people who, as short as the movie is, I didn't see any kid versions of the kids. So obviously I have to rely on looking for a '90s Jurassic Park figure of, I think the boy was released in the T-Rex car 2-pack. So how awkward would it look? Anyway, let's begin with WrestleMania 27, the recreated edition by FREC. Alright, so a few facts. The event took place on April 3rd of 2011 from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. The attendance was 71,617 people. 28 wrestlers participated at this event. Now, he wasn't in a match, but The Rock did return as a special guest host, and I had to make sure that people know that Mattel again knocked it out of the park. They actually made the host attire for The Rock for WrestleMania 27. It was only available at Toys R Us. I remember it was the first Elite Rock Modern that had his modern tattoo at the time before he would, of course, change it. So it was the closest we'd get to an actual Rock figure at the time. This is around the time The Rock, of course, was hyped up to face Cena for over was right before this, but the idea, of course, the figure came out just shortly after, I want to say maybe 6 months after WrestleMania. So again, by then it was already 6 months of hype had been building for Cena versus Rock, and this is the first Elite figure you could get of The Rock in modern day look. But we'll kick it off with match 1. It was Alberto Del Rio versus Edge, and Mattel, they did not create, even though Edge won at this event, they did not create a WrestleMania 27 commemorative attire of Edge. They did recreate the attire eventually with looks like the proper elbow pads and such. But Del Rio, who lost the match, they actually decided to put him in there instead of Edge. They would later release Edge in a Global Superstars wave. Basically, it was a basic series, but it's not called Basic something. Then on to the second match of WrestleMania 27, and while they did make the Elite Cody Rhodes with the face mask at the time, they never made the Captain America Rey Mysterio. Now, Mattel probably doesn't have the rights to Marvel. Probably, I'm pretty sure Hasbro's had it for the longest time. So I can see why they didn't make him. They could have probably done something similar to it, but instead they probably just want to wait till they either get rights to him or they've told Ray to stop doing that kind of stuff. Then you've got match 3, and you can recreate it. It is not accurate. Justin Gabriel, of course, would get his Elite, but this Elite is this figure attire that he's wearing here. You can't really see it. It's kind of like a silver yellowish when I saw the pictures, the few I could find of this match. And they never made that. Heath, of course, would be in not shorts, but trunks at the time. And for the most part, you probably get the Christian 2-pack one that kind of represents it, but after that, he kind of went to like just pants. Ezekiel's pretty accurate. Um, Wade Barrett without his facial hair. Of course, his trunks are probably not 100% accurate. But no matter what, this match is not accurate because while you do have the Kofi right there, and you have the Big Show and the Kane, Santino wore like a red-black attire, which they never made in any figure form yet. So it is not accurate. Then on to the fourth match, Randy Orton versus CM Punk. This was accurate. That is exactly the WrestleMania 27 Orton. It might even be the same almost attire he wore at the previous WrestleMania. And that's the CM Punk I was talking about in the previous video. How sick would that one have been as an elite? I just feel like it would have been better. I mean, you could have colored the tattoos in a little bit. I love that kick pad imagery. Believe me, if there was a way to swap the basic boots, obviously they never made a CM Punk that had this trunk attire in elite form, but it'd be sick. I wish they had done something with some of his newer elites. I think they did with the blue and the red one, which is why I got it. I just always liked this look better than like 2 stars here and blank here and blank here. I always thought that was kind of cool. I was really surprised they never released a Royal Rumble 2013 versus The Rock CM Punk. That attire, just for some reason, the silver platinum look to it, it was really sick looking. But you can recreate this. Then on to the 27th match, or 27th match, WrestleMania 27 match 5, Michael Cole versus Jerry the King Lawler, and they did make Cole and they did make Lawler. They did not make Cole in his wrestling attire though. As you can see, here's his wrestling attire. I was surprised they never just did something like that. I mean, I know they're making Dominic as like a 8-year-old kid. Maybe they'll jump back in and go and say, hey, we need to bring this one out. Because if they did, this would be 100% accurate. Except for Stone Cold. He's wearing camo shorts here in the actual match. They just threw him in some pair of pants. So, and then I threw in Swagger because Swagger was in his corner during the match. I know I didn't say I was going to include managers and whatnot. I just threw him in there. If these two had been accurate, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have made it a green mark. But he's not accurate. These two don't matter. I just wanted to say, hey, look, they actually did bring these out. So again, credit to Mattel for really knocking out a lot of these attires. Streak continues at 19-0 with Triple H, and I remember getting this Triple H at Toys R Us. It was the attire was so sick. The entrance, of course, was so sick. I remember I changed for the longest time when I was doing my figure feds. I remember changing Triple H's theme to "For Whom the Bell Tolls" before doing the Triple H thing, just because I owned that attire. That is the Undertaker of WrestleMania 27, according to Mattel anyway. It's very accurate. You can't see the details, obviously, it's just in box. But yeah, he came back. Didn't really have the, he still had the logos on the side as much, but he kind of came back as like the old Western cowboy type thing. Which rumor has it that was supposed to be him versus Sting. They were trying to build towards. That's the whole countdown clock thing, but instead Undertaker came back and Triple H, was there, and he was like, I want to match with you. So they did wrestle. This is the second time they wrestled each other, and you can recreate this in elite form with that accuracy. I'm pretty sure you can recreate it even in basic form with accuracy if you were to look hard enough for it. Triple H didn't change his attire too much, but this entrance goat, you would need the elite for it to be 100% entrant accurate. Then to the 7th match of this show, and unfortunately, we have a Void member, Snooki of the Jersey Shore. Wasn't a fan of that, never have been, never will be. But you had the John Morrison from the show. You had Trish, which they would release a black-haired Trish later on. I probably should have pulled that and put that into the Legends series. But Michelle McCool wasn't accurate. Layla wasn't accurate. And Dolph was not accurate. Again, I just kind of throw up a Dolph picture because I don't remember around this time him wearing anything black and red like that. So, and it was biker shorts at the time. But because Snooki's not here, this match can't be recreated. Very WrestleMania, really. Only a total of, what, 8 matches? About 8 matches. You had John Cena versus Miz, and you can recreate this. Mattel knocked out of the park again with another best at pay-per-view, WrestleMania 27, John Cena versus The Miz, and that's the attire The Miz wore. He even comes with a belt. Of course, it's only available at Toys R Us. Cena, of course, was wearing the red at the time, the red shirt with the red armbands. And as, of course, you know, there's a count out. Rock came out, had the match restarted just to cost Cena. So Miz retained, which would set up their whole year-long feud. But wasn't one of the. It's considered not one of the greatest WrestleManias. It's down there on like one of the lower tiers of all the WrestleManias. But it is pretty accurate. Let's break down the stats. But we could not recreate it. We're missing Snooki. Now I know she's not a real wrestler, but she was booked as a wrestler in this show. So maybe if you hunt down, you might be able to find some Jersey Shore knockoff lower tier Snooki figure or something. I don't remember if anybody ever did make the Jersey Shore figurines or whatever. Maybe a Barbie doll collection. You could technically have it, but again, if Mattel or Barbie ever made a Snooki line or something like that, or Jersey Shore line, then she's going to be about 12 inches, so she's going to already be double the size of Undertaker. It's going to look awkward. So recreated is 87% because we're missing Snooki. At this point, you're noticing that Mattel is starting to just take over because there was no more Jakks. But there was a lot of people still from the Jakks day in these WrestleManias, which is why 25 figures do have Jakks counterparts to them. But Mattel would start to take the lead over. They got 27 figures at 96%. Snooki, of course, being the only standout. It is 50% accurate. You can recreate 50% of the WrestleMania matches if you will go get the guest Rock, if you count that segment, which I'm not counting that segment. I don't count the segments. I just wanted to I remember getting that Rock figure and I was like, oh, this is so sick. This is so cool. Of course, later on he'd come out with wrestling attires, and you wouldn't need that promo attire anymore. As always, I want to thank you for watching. Remember to ring the bell and subscribe. Check back soon for recreated WrestleMania 28 edition. That means there's only 10 left in the series. Now, of course, if you're looking for any figures, check out my online toy store where I specialize in loose figures, Dying Solo Toys. It sounds morbid. It's not. What it means is I also make memorial videos for people, usually slideshows like this, for a discounted, cheaper price for people who can't afford, you know, a top-notch video guy, cinematography guy, or whatever. So I handle dying in a sense of that, and then I run the store solo. And I sell toys, so Dying Solo Toys. That's the creative way of me deciding the name of it. Reality was I went on GoDaddy, and my boss originally wanted me to be Collectible Action Toys. He said that'd be a good name, cat.com, which that's not really good in my mind. And when we went and looked it up about how much it was going to cost me to rent the thing for a year or two, it was a little bit more than I wanted to pay. But Dying Solo Toys was a penny a year. So for 2 cents, you know, for 2 cents, I own the rights to this thing for 2 years, and I can always renew it in 2 years. So I'm pretty happy about that. So, but check it out if you'd like. Again, it's it's stuff that you'd find at retail. You know, there's some exclusives in there. There's a lot of loose figures. I do specialize a lot of times in loose figures. I do know of a toy store around me that just doesn't seem to care. When people bring in boxes of loose figures, they just throw them into a bin, and I rifle through them and find good deals, good quality ones that I can put with accessories, or ones that can give a good figure bath to, that still have good working joints. So you're going to get top-notch type stuff. But as always, check back for the WrestleMania 28 edition, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.